Hey there, folks. I want to welcome you here today to a very special GCN update. My name is James Ward. I'm excited to be here tonight. Wow, looks like we already have a ton of people on this call. So if you're just jumping on here today, I'd love to personally welcome you. We got David from Vegas, Tom from Iona, Mike from Milwaukee. Uh, am I muted? Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you guys can hear me. Just give me, oh, okay, cool. Edgardo from Vegas, Paul from Canada, Mark from London, Ontario, Neil from Australia, Mike said yes, thank you. Let's see here, Aloha from Kauai, Lee, welcome. Let's see here, Mario, welcome from Cleveland, Richard from Charlotte, Gary from North Carolina, Dane from Orlando, Carlos from Florida, Michael from Russellville, George from California, Shane from Michigan. Let's see here. Nimi from Canada. I'm not even going to try the first one. Joel from Texas. We got Todd from Boston. Ed from Sunnyside, California. Eileen from I'm not sure. So listen, I do want to welcome everybody here today. From Canada. Okay, welcome from Canada. Hey, Gossett, thank you. Welcome. Welcome to the call. So look, we've got 4:02 here, my time, 5:02 Eastern Standard Time. We are going to go ahead and get this thing started here today and give you some updates on what we're doing here at GCN. Now, I want to start with the email that I sent on Friday. I have to address this. So the email that was sent was, I guess it was meant to be kind of clever or a metaphor of what is currently going on with our system. However, some of the translations and some of the emails I got or text message were like, James, are you going to be a grandfather? Is your daughter having a baby? Are you having another baby? So the intent of my message didn't completely come through properly. So I want to apologize for that. What I was referring to is that, when you are in labor, you have a choice as a doctor to induce someone who is in labor. So in my case, it would have been my wife. And actually one of my daughters was induced and one wasn't. So, the whole point of that was telling everybody that, look, we're looking at our system right now. I didn't feel 100% confident pulling the trigger on Friday. So what I was trying to tell you is, hey, Monday is going to be the day that we're going to do that. We want to make sure everything's correct. So with that being said, I want to talk just a little bit about that. And number one, I'm sorry for the confusion. I know it confused a lot of people. And then, hey, I also got some emails saying, hey, that was like so cool. I have daughters myself. So I got all across the board, but I think the overall message that we wanted to get across, maybe it could have just been one sentence like, hey, we're not 100% ready, wait till Monday, would have been much better. But we didn't do it that way. We love to put feeling into the emails to make sure that you guys can connect with us on a personal level. So that's where that was coming from. So listen, if there was some confusion, I know we have people that speak multiple languages here. So no telling what that thing translated to, especially if you're using Google Translate. So anyway, I apologize for that, but I'm still very excited about where we're at right here today. Obviously, we would have loved to pull the trigger on Friday and had this thing live and kicking and things like that. And I got a lot of messages in regard to that. But let's talk about where we're at and where things are exactly at, so you guys have complete clarity on where we're going. But the biggest thing I want to make sure that you get from this meeting here today is that we're creating a recipe inside of our company so that we're not going to have to look back, right? You're not going to have to sit there and second guess, is the programming done correctly? Are things calculating correctly with my binary or my cab bonus or my fast start bonus? All those things, right? All those things we had to make sure 100%, because I'm not going to go back over it, but those are the things that really led to us putting the brakes on the system, making sure that we could update the payment system with the new comp plan 100%. As we talked about, and I am going to mention this again, it's very challenging, as you guys know, when there's no downtime for a company. If you are paying 7 days a week, and anytime there's a compensation plan change made or anything like that, even a tweak, that it affects the payment system. So that's why we halted things. That's why they're exactly where they're at. But for me personally, I'd much rather launch this thing. When I say launch, just relaunch it, if you will. And even though it's not a relaunch, get the system back live is the way I should say it, and have it 100% rather than put it out there just for the sake of the timing. When I talked about this last Saturday, that wasn't a comfortable call for me. It was uncomfortable for me to come out and talk about some of the challenges that we had as a company on my watch, right? Some of the things that could have been done differently on my time. But I wanted to come out. I wanted to be transparent with you. I wanted you guys to understand that, hey, there's mistakes made everywhere. But what we aren't doing here is we're not walking away like any other company. We are here to stay. We're going to be stronger than ever. But in order to do that, we had to make sure that things are done properly, that the system's working correctly, and that we can definitely move into the future here without focusing on this. I'm sure if all of you would probably agree, especially if you have any type of organization underneath you, it would be much more beneficial to you to be able to work our business, to operate your business as a business rather than a customer support agent, right? And that's the things that we're trying to avoid for you going forward. We're not trying, those are the things we are going to avoid for you going forward, so we can make sure we have a complete working system and a recipe that can set us up for the future. A lot of times we get so caught up on these details of what's going on, we forget about the big picture. When you really look at our compensation plan, you look at the products and the services that we offer, and things are really off the charts. I mean, our binary, if you fully understand our binary, and if you haven't taken the time to really dive in there, I would encourage you to get with your upline or their upline, and we will be doing some trainings as well to really help you understand how powerful this perpetual binary truly is at this point, and how if you plug into it and begin to really work it, you can create phenomenal results for you and your family. I know there's a lot of focus on the CAB bonus, right? When you talk to people, and in most of the customer support system or tickets that we get are very rarely about the binary. Like 90% of them when it comes to compensation plan are about the CAB. Now, I don't care if you checked me a week ago or if you checked me when I very first launched this company. The bottom line is people focus on what you focus on. If you're out there building your business and all you're focusing on is the CAB, don't think that you're not going to attract people that are just going to sit there and want to collect the CAB, right? So, I'm telling you that, not to say that the CAB's a bad thing. It's like an unbelievable bonus added on top of everything else that you have here. So the binary structure itself, phenomenal. We had to make sure things are 100% correct with that, which I'm happy to say that they are. The minimum and maximum CAB. We had some people in our organization, our company, that were earning the maximum that they didn't deserve it. We had some that were earning the minimum that should have had the maximum. So we had to go through all of these things to make sure that, hey, our binary is 100%, our CAB bonus is 100%, our fast start bonus is 100%, our pro membership's going to work correctly, because all those things combined create magic, right? And the second part of that, and the most important part of that, is the consistency as a company, not only with our system, but as our payments. And the only way that we can have consistency is if there's consistency inside of our system. So I'm excited about not just where we're at, but I'm more excited about where we're going. So you and I can meet on the weekend, not about a conversation about this, but like about the hottest new auction product, or, the new travel products that are coming, or, the games of the week training, or anything like that we want to meet on, or maybe we meet face to face at a live event rather than having these type of meetings. Let me ask you a question, just give me some feedback. Don't you think that would be a lot better for your business, a lot better for our relationship, if when we met, we could talk about the cool stuff, the stuff that makes this company work? Give me a number one if you're down with that, because that's the direction I want to go as a company. Yeah, right. Thank you. I appreciate that. So we're excited about where things are. And I know that they didn't happen on Friday like we wanted them to. And I know that I confused you with that email, and that wasn't my intention. My intention was to put some clever stuff on top of what was going on inside of our system. But let's talk just a little bit further about this, okay? We talked a little bit about the binary, the CAB bonus, the fast start bonus, and the comp plan. We all know how powerful that is. And there's some people out there that look at it and be like, oh man, I have to put a little bit of effort in. I don't want to do that. We're probably not the best place for them, right? But for those that can see the vision of where we're going, we definitely are. And we're just getting this thing started. And what's crazy for me to say that is we're literally going into month 8, right? Month 8. I think we're already in month 8. Yeah, we're in month 8. Yeah, it's March. So we're in month 8 now as a company. And you look at that, think about this. I mean, we know most companies are going out of business in 8 to 12 weeks. And there's some of you out right now, I'm just going to go on and say, there's some of you that you couldn't have the patience, right? Some of you might even be on here today watching, just saying, hey, I want to hear what James has to say, but I'm already gone, right? I've already went to another company. I'm already, promoting some other deal that even though I know it's going to go out of business, I need to make some quick money, right? Well, you're part of the problem. And I'm not saying that because you might be gone. I'm saying that this industry, that's what has happened, is the easy way out has become the norm. So, it's not to pick on anyone. It's your business. You're an entrepreneur. But what I want to tell you is that when you look around a year from now, we're going to be here, right? We're doing the things necessary to be there. And that's the commitment you have. So I do want to talk briefly just about the auctions. Now, you guys, oh my gosh. So I spent probably the better part of, I don't know, 10, 15 hours last week talking about the Atlantis, right? You guys were asking me, James, do you work for that company? Are you getting a commission for selling the Atlantis? And I did many different webinars, right? I did webinars on showing you how to set up your auto bidders. I did webinars on building the momentum to this Atlantis vacation. I showed you pictures of my family at the Atlantis. I talked about the memories that we created. And I felt like I gave you every single opportunity that you needed to be able to bid on this Atlantis. I see so many credits sitting there and people not taking advantage of it. Did anybody happen to see what the Atlantis vacation went off at? Did anybody happen to see it? Yeah, Chris, still can't believe 39 cents. Let me ask you guys something. Now, I asked this about the Camaro and I asked this about the Range Rover. The Camaro did phenomenal. Range Rover went off a little bit too soon for what I thought it was going to. But this thing right here is like, it blows my mind that we don't have people that are locked into that. That, you know, when I met with you last week, if you remember, I said, look, you can't necessarily try to time this. You have to be in the game at some point. Now, here's the good news, okay? The good news is this. People oftentimes say, oh man, GCN had to take a bath on that. Number one, we make money from selling credits. We don't make money from how many auction bids that someone places. So that's number one, just be clear on that. But number two, you know, we feel like we've created an opportunity here. And I think that this just proved it, that anyone, and I do mean anyone who's willing to participate a little bit, has some phenomenal opportunities. I don't know if you guys have been checking out the auctions, but we have been so consistent and so congruent on our Facebook messaging, right? We put it out there to social media. We have the auctions up there at the same time every single night. We promoted to death the Atlantis auction, and we still had people sitting there and just not participating. It blows my mind. So what I'm gonna do, what we're gonna continue to do, is continue to train people, right? So one thing you're gonna see moving forward in here to our new era as a company is some focused training. And as I said, you know, I'm bringing in some help, not only from a customer support standpoint, but project management. But I'm also going to be releasing the new president here in the next coming days as well, that is going to be able to assist me in many of these different ways. But one of the focus that we're going to have going forward is systematic things inside of our company, right? Making sure that every single new person that comes in here knows exactly how to work the auction, the auto bidder. They know exactly how the games of the week work, how the payout works, how to participate in those. They know how the comp plan works. There is a system in place that, hey, if you want to build your business, this is all you need to do. Follow this system right here. And many of those things should already be in place, right? They absolutely should. But we are going to be working on those. They're sporadic, right? We've created many different trainings, but at the same time, creating a centralized location that every single new person, like almost a new orientation when someone comes through, and even videos that you can reflect back to, that's one thing that we're going to be doing. So let me ask you guys a question. I know I've got some other stuff to address here, but do you guys think, and you know, just give me a number two, okay? Don't answer me yet, but if we were to create a training program for every single new person that came in here that showed them exactly how to use the auctions, including the auto bidders, how to buy auctions, how to transfer credits, not buy auction, buy credits, how to transfer credits, how to participate in the games of the week, when the travel platforms here, how to participate in that, how to work with the concierge, and not only that, but in addition, how to build your business. Give me a number two if you're a leader out there and you think that that could assist you, help you build your business. Do you think that would help? Yeah, because here's the deal, you know, thank you for this. Yeah, so here's the thing. We have so many moving parts, right, inside of our business. Even though it's simple, we can complicate things because we do have, you know, the auctions, the games of the weeks, and these are things that aren't like normal, right? This isn't like you rode a bike when you were little and you knew how to do it and you're just coming back to do it. It's very different, right? So there's a learning curve that people have to go through, and we need to make sure that we do that. So I'm just going through here a little bit. One other thing, I put this on the email that I just sent out. I know many of you, if you went to the website in the last 24 hours, you're seeing that it says dangerous, right? There's malware on the website. That's due to it could be a few different things, okay? And we're working on it right this very second. but traditionally when this has happened on any of my websites, it's that the script is not 100%, meaning that, there might be some Latin or something inside of the script that's setting off this malware. I know there's some programmers out there, you might say, hey, this is done by Google, or this is done by this, or it's done by this. Regardless of what it is, regardless of what the issue is, what I can assure you is it's going to be fixed. How about that? Okay. So I don't really care what the reason is. I can't get caught up on that. I have to get caught up on the solutions of things. And the solution is it will be fixed tonight. Okay. So that's the bottom line. I know we got a lot of messages on that. So just keep that in mind. So with that being said, we're going to move this towards wrapping this thing up. I'll answer any questions here in just a minute. But as we move into this upcoming week, okay, tonight we will be testing the system 100%, making sure that everything is a go. Now I'm going to straight tell you, okay, if we run into any glitches, as painful as it would be to say, hey, we're not running it, we're not running it. But my belief is tonight is the night. I believe that tonight we can test this thing, we can run the commissions tomorrow and be back on track for this upcoming week. That's my belief, okay? Because we were very, very close to being able to do that this Friday. That's what I wanted to happen. But just like any business, we have down days. Our programmers aren't here 24/7. So this weekend they were off. They'll be back tonight. We'll be working this. And like I said, my goal is to make sure that this thing is fully tested. So as we move into next week, tomorrow, we run the commissions, we get the payment started back. And the only thing that we're really concentrating on right now is not only the system working properly, but also finding that consistency, right? I have to, and we have to as a company, earn that trust. I get that, right? You might trust me in the sense that, hey, I'm out here in front of you. Many of you I've met, you believe me because you see me eye to eye, but we have to earn that trust as a company as we go forward and show some consistency in what we're doing. But I'm going to put it back out there to y'all as well. We're going to do what we're supposed to do. And I'm going to ask you guys as leadership to surround us, protect us, help us as a company, grow into a mature company as we want to, and stick with us and have some faith, right? Some of you might have moved on, like I said, and that's your business. But what I would ask you is this: if you can see the vision of where we're going and you can have belief in a business actually lasting in this space that gets tossed into the crypto space, if you can see that, I'm going to ask you to come with me again and let's rock this thing. 2020, the first quarter is almost over. The second, the third, and the fourth quarter are going to be groundbreaking, record-breaking business for us as a company. You're going to see us hosting multiple events, not just in the United States, but international. As we go into 2021 and beyond, we are going to become a household name when it comes to entertainment in this industry. We're going to create millionaires inside of our company, and we're going to change lives worldwide. That's what I believe. I can see it clear as day, and I know that's easy for me to see, but I can see it. It's not something I'm just saying. I can see where we're going as a company because I know what we're doing right now. I know the people I'm surrounding myself to take us to the level that we need to, and I know that we have amazing leadership here because if not, we wouldn't be here on a Sunday afternoon and my room wouldn't be absolutely full here today. So I'm thankful for that. So I'm going to go through here. I know that there's obviously going to be some questions. There's going to be some things that I'm going to address any of them. Okay. So some of you might want to come at me hard. It's okay. It's cool. But I'm going to also be blunt on my answers and make sure that there's complete clarity. How about that? So let me go through here and just see if see if everything's okay. All right. Okay, so Matthew's talking about the auctions. He said, have you considered putting a reserve on really high auctions? A lot of people could have made it last till Friday. So here's the deal, Matt. Like, if you look in the back office right now, I mean, we have a Mercedes that's been there since Black Friday, truthfully, like since Thanksgiving, that has a reserve on it. If there's anything that we proved, it's that the reserve doesn't necessarily work. Now, we might be able to put a reserve on something and actually show what that reserve is and help it get to that point. People might be able to participate then, but a blind reserve, we've proven that it doesn't work that well. Okay, so just know that that's it. Oh, Mark, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you saying that. Mike, thank you so much, man. I'm glad that you're here as well. Let's see here, George. Let's see here. More delays, 6 weeks, 80% have not been paid. This is wow. This is the only issue. Let me be honest and build trust. Retroactive pay. What has happened? Okay, so George, you only sent that to panelists. I didn't have to read that out loud, but I don't care. I want to address any uncertainty here I want to address, right? Rather than hiding behind, let me just delete the comment and not address it. George, here's the deal, man. First of all, the 80% thing that you're talking about, I think that I'm just going to be honest. I think you grabbed that out of the clear blue sky. That's okay. As far as the delays, 6 weeks, I think we know that that's a bit of an exaggeration as well. But there's no doubt that we've had challenges, and I understand your frustration, man. That's why I'm out here today talking about this, to address everybody, including you, and including anyone that has anything to say. The reality is, if our intention wasn't to come back here, get consistent, make sure that the system is working. Again, I say this a lot. I wouldn't be sitting here on a Sunday afternoon spending time answering these questions or on this webinar. I would shut the website down. I would go about whatever else I was doing, and I would take whatever heat I was going to take. That's what I would do if I was just had no interest in moving forward. So I get where you're coming from, man. I truly do. And I understand your frustration. We aren't retro paying. I've been very clear on that. We're not going to retro pay anything. It will be from the day that we are at going forward. That's where the commissions will be. So just keep that in mind. It's not even up for discussion. Unfortunately, we're not retro doing anything. So I hope that we're crystal clear on that. And I appreciate where you're coming from. I really do. And thank you for that comment. Paul, thank you. Let's see here. Okay, Brian's asking, how does the investing and the payouts work, and how do I check a balance on a dashboard? So, well, Brian, my guess is that you're probably brand new, which is totally cool. So from an investment standpoint, I mean, we don't take investments, right? People just purchase our packages. That's number one, just to be clear on that. But the way that it works is you'll be able to check your dashboard every day when this thing is running 100% smoothly. And it will show you your available balance there every day. And once it gets to 0.01, it goes directly to your blockchain. Okay, so I would encourage you to get back maybe with your sponsor, whoever introduced you, and go from there. Let's see here. I know it takes 48 hours on the GOW payout. Does that exclude weekends for the future reference? Shane, thank you. That's a great question. So we've had a lot of questions on GOWs. Whether you guys know this or not, GOWs are actually tied into our payment system. We made a decision to start trying to pay some of these manually as well. Also, I'm just going to be really clear here. We really spoiled people with our GOWs, and don't take that the wrong way. What I mean is, look, I know we've done phenomenal at them, but the one thing that we didn't put out there to people is, look, when we do a GOW as a company, it takes a minimum of 48 hours for us even to receive the funds back, right? So if we go out there and we take a big wager on a game, right, it takes 48 hours for it to come back to us. Now, what we started doing, because we had multiple GOWs coming through, is we started paying people these credits like as soon as they would win, like sometimes that night or the next night, because there would be another GOW coming. I can just tell you, it can't work like that. We have to allow at least 48 hours. The weekend, it really doesn't matter that much most of the time, because it is Bitcoin in, Bitcoin out. So the weekend should not really hurt us that bad, except for one thing. You know, our GOWs are done by our staff. Our staff does not work on Sundays. Well, sometimes they work on Sundays, but it's usually half days. So depending on the time frame, yes, there could be a Sunday. Saturdays it'll usually pay. Sundays it couldn't. So I know it's not like 100% clear, but I want to make sure, like, I'm just telling you like it is. Okay. So that's the deal. 48 hours on that. Gossett, thank you for adding the new marketing material. You're definitely welcome. Paul, all new CO. Oh yeah. Paul's saying all new companies have delays. So thank you for that. You know, you look back in history. I mean, I'm not going to give us a history lesson here, because I'm sure most of you are much more knowledgeable than me, but you know, what I do know is there's been an amazing companies that have popped up, Apple, Microsoft. You look at some of these companies, Walmart, where I'm from, a lot of them were on the verge of like just disappearing. And it took one little thing that set them over the edge that they became household names, right? So you're here, we're making this happen, and I appreciate that. Dean, love your transparency in this company. Many of us did not participate in the auction because we're not wanting to travel. Oh, because of the global pandemic. Dean, good point that I didn't even consider. Just know that if we give an auction like that, you know, we will reward it, even if it's like within the year, we'd still reward it. So hopefully, you know, that virus is going to be going away soon. I don't know if it will or not, but I appreciate your feedback on that. That didn't even cross my mind. When you say no retro pay, does that include all transactions that were paid but were never went to an external wallet? Keith, so it depends on I don't know your specific situation, so that's really hard kind of for me to answer that. Here's what I'm telling you. What we're going to look at here is if someone has an available balance, we're not saying that we're just going to wipe out everything and take it away like that. Okay, so it's not like you're going to have to start over, is what I'm saying. But we're not going to retroactively. When people talk about retro, they're usually talking about the CAB bonus. Okay, we're not retroactively paying any CAB bonus. Period. Regardless of what the reasoning is, we're just not doing it. Okay, so that's when people talk retro. That's usually what they're talking. I hope that helps you out. What about the pending withdrawal request on earned credits? Can we request status from support on these? You definitely can request it. As I was saying, they're tied into our payment system as well. So many of those we've been doing manually, but you definitely, yes, you're more than welcome to submit that. Okay. Edgardo, thank you so much. We believe in GCN is for real, James, and here to make a difference in people's lives. Man, I appreciate that, Edgardo. Great leader out of Vegas. Thank you so much. My level 9 position had only 4 wallet deposits since 1/8. Keith, a couple things, man. I don't know what level you're at. Number one, I know that there are some people that are really confused on how often they get paid, depending on the package. Not saying that that's you, but there are people that are in that predicament. So it's very difficult for me to even answer that, because listen, if someone's at the 0.01, that would very well make sense. Okay, so I don't know what you're at, so we'll just have to look at that, and support can help you with that. Okay. Matthew saying he agrees there's no way he would travel right now. LSAO, try logging in. Google's blocking the site. So LSAO, that's what I was talking about. If people go to Global Credits Network right now, it does say dangerous on it, and says that it might have malware on it. Again, that's going to either be due to the script on our system. That's what I think it is. Okay. But I'm not a programmer. What I can tell you is that we're aware of it. We're going to be correcting it, and that will be fixed by tomorrow when you wake up. So just know that that's happening, and we are definitely on top of that. But if you do hit continue, okay, so I've been to the website. I see it says dangerous. If you do hit continue, it's just going to take you to the main website that you've always went to, and you can log in from there. Okay. So I know some of you might be scared. Don't be scared. It's not going to affect your machine or anything like that. If you just hit next, it will send you to where you can log in, and it should be fine. All right. So let me see here. Okay, Mark F is asking for confidence of the concept. Can you provide some insight on margins, credits, wagering, etc., to see the company has the ability to pay the CAB, the binary, not actual earnings, but rather margins? So here's the deal, Mark. That's challenging for me to give you margins. We're a private company. What I can tell you is this. The proof is definitely, from a sports wagering standpoint, you can see very clearly that the proof is there, right? All you have to do is go through. I know you don't know the exact money management system that we use, but it doesn't take too much investigation to know that, like, our GOWs would be huge plays for us, right? So if you look at the sports wagering side of it, we obviously know that does what it's supposed to do. Okay, just look at the record even without the money management, and you'll see that the numbers actually work. When you look at our auctions, we make money by selling credits. As I said, we don't make money necessarily by the auctions going off at some specific price. Obviously, it helps us as a company. If we have more participation, we can have more auctions, but all of that contributes to the CAB. So yes, it is important, but when we look at the CAB and we look at moving it, we're looking at the entire company's profits, not just the auctions or the sports wagering. We look at the overall concept of what we're doing, and that's how we determine where it's at. So I can't give you exact percentages, because it's private information, man. And we're on a webinar here. Everyone's going to be shooting this thing out. So it's just not something that we can do. Someone's saying, let's do the Atlantis again. Hey, Dane, you're asking about a commission there on a sign up, a fast start bonus. You can submit a ticket. Okay. We've cleared out all the tickets, so you can submit that ticket. That would be a good one to submit. and they'll look at it. They'll make sure that you're completely qualified and everything from that perspective, and go from there. James, what can we do for the people that don't want to work but want to build a company and just want to get their money back because they already have a business or a full-time job of any kind? So, Tom, here's the deal. We never from day one did we promote this as a company that you can't do anything and make money. That's called a security. That's not what we do. So what I would tell people is this: if they don't want to work the business and they just want to receive their credits or their CAB bonus in credits, they can still participate in the GOWs. And I mean, if you look at the record, it's really not a bad deal. For me, this is just the way my mind thinks. I know a lot of people use those funds to help them with their everyday expenses. Okay, so I get that, but anyone who's in a position to allow some of their commissions to go back into credits, like even if they're qualified, to me, the GOWs and the auctions are an amazing opportunity. So, I mean, especially where it's at right now, we just saw the Atlantis go for 39 cents. There's some opportunity there. The GOWs, I think, were 18 of the last 25. There's some huge opportunities there, right? That you can actually get back more than even what you started with. So I can't really say to the people that don't want to do anything, I would tell them definitely don't ever join a network marketing company ever and just stay with their job. But as far as like refunding or anything like that, that's not something that we'll be doing. Okay, let's see here. Paul saying that Internet Explorer is not doing it. So if you have Internet Explorer, the malware may be fixed on that. Okay. Michael's asking, when will the training modules be available? Michael, we are already in the process of recording those, okay? So very soon you'll be able to see those things. But here's the deal. I really had to surround myself with some people in order for me to be able to take that to the next level. So as we are introducing these people over the next week, you'll begin to see these trainings come out. Okay, let's see here. Are we fixing the situation of positions that get paid every other day or every third day and not getting paid regularly? So Dean, two things. Number one, that could be something that depending on the amount of the account and people not understanding how often it should hit. But number two, the biggest reason why we actually halted everything was the fact that those who were not hitting 0.01, it looked like it was taking money away from people, even though it wasn't. I'm not getting into that conversation, but the bottom line is, yes, the reason why we halted that is to get things 100% correctly from a payment standpoint. So it's a great question, but yes, the answer is that's why we stopped things. So consistency is where it has to be. We all know that this thing can't work without consistency. Play the game of the week and they can be withdrawn. That's right, Paul. You can play the game of the week and then they can be withdrawn. Can you please create an auto GOW functionality in the back offices ASAP? This is where we could choose an amount and each time they just click a button and it turns the system on. That's pretty cool. I like that idea. So basically what Joe is saying here is like, look, man, sometimes I'm out with the family. I can't bring it up on my phone or whatever. Is there any way like when you release a GOW, I could just automatically participate it and set my amount? I think that's pretty cool. I think we could do something like that. So that's a great idea. Let's see here. Are we going to start rocking and rolling again tomorrow? Bernard, man, that is the hope, okay? We're going to be testing everything here tonight, as I said in the beginning. And yes, if things are ready to 100% rock and roll, we will be. I mean, like, as I said, I'm sick of these. I'm sick of these webinars. I don't know about y'all, but I'm ready to move on and rock this thing. So the answer is yes, that's where we're going. I think it's time for an RB and V. Yeah, you may be right, Mark. Okay, from Tom, James, for the positions that are qualified for the CAB and the binary, can you give us a rough idea what the percentage they, I don't know what that means, our realm get on? So I think what you're asking is like just looking at your positions. So it's hard to answer that from a binary standpoint, right? Because it depends on your organization underneath you, how much goes back into your binary every day. It's like, that's impossible for me to answer. But as I can tell you this, the more your organization grows, the better leader you become. And the bigger you get, obviously that gets bigger because half of every single person's earnings goes back into your binary, which creates some great income for you. So that's number one. As far as the CAB bonus, that's static, right? So it's either the minimum of 0.25 or the maximum of 1.05. So those things are pretty easy to figure out. And you're getting 50% out to your blockchain and 50% of it's going back into the binary. So that math is pretty easy. Since our last GOW credits haven't been updated in the back office, is that due to the update? So I can't remember what day that GOW was. I think it was Thursday. I'll have to look. Those will be updated here either probably tomorrow. So one thing that we're doing, just so you know, again, I mean, this is internal information, but our GOWs, we've been handling those manually. We actually built into this update that we're doing are going to be able to do it automatic. So we literally just put in the percentage and everybody is credited that amount that participated within the time that they were allowed. So that's one thing that's coming. So we're not going to have to rely on our support team to have to do that any longer, which would be absolutely awesome. Let's see here. If we have suggestions which will promote the company, how can these be made? You're pretty busy. Yeah, I am pretty busy. But with that being said, I am surrounding myself with some great people. They're going to help us take this company to where it needs to go. So George, my email is james@globalcreditsnetwork.com. You're always more than welcome to email me there. And I'll do my best to get back with you. I will tell you, at any given time, I have about 100 unread messages on my phone. So especially right now, it's gotten even worse. So if you've been hitting me and you know my phone number and I haven't gotten back with you soon enough, don't take it personal, please. It's just the simple fact, I only have so much time in a day, and that's where it's at, okay? My objective right now is solution-oriented, and the only solution right now is getting the system 100%, getting the payments consistent, and knocking this thing out of the park in the last 3 quarters of 2020. The rest is a conversation, right? So with that being said, I really appreciate everybody taking the time to come out. This was 37 minutes, some really great questions. I mean, as you guys can see, it doesn't matter if it's a good question or a bad question or someone attacking or someone uplifting, I'm gonna answer it regardless of what it is, because we want this to be an open opportunity for people to see that we're real. I'm gonna answer this last question here that just came up, and then I'm gonna close it, okay? So Michael said, I received my BTC in the Coinbase wallet. Can you somehow list where my deposit? Look in your transaction history, Michael, in your back office when you log in under my funds, and then transaction history. It shows you exactly the amount that we send to you. So that will help you understand if it's coming from us, okay? So look, I appreciate everybody taking the time to come out and join us today. I am still more fired up than I have been in a really, really long time about our company. I know that many of you out there, especially who have large teams, you've been taking heat, right? You've been getting messages like, when is this happening? I thought it was happening Friday. And then I email out about the inducing labor, which confused people. I get it, man. I promise you I do. But here's what I can tell you. We're stronger than we've ever been. We're going further than we've ever been. You have to believe in the process, right? You have to hold strong. Nothing worth having has ever been easy. That's just what I've been told my whole life, and it's been proven over and over. And I know that you know that. I mean, things are not ever early or late. They're always on time. That's what my mom always said. God's always on time. It's never early. It's never late. So I believe with this company, it's right on time. It didn't happen the way that we wanted it to. It didn't happen as smooth as we wanted it to. We've had some challenges. But now we're in a place that I get to surround myself with some amazing people, introduce you to a new president in the upcoming week here, get our system consistent, and show this world that we're here to stay. So I want to say thank you to each and every one of you for being here today, spending your time with me on a Sunday. It's family day. Thank you so much. Let's rock this thing. Let's come together and rock this thing. Have a great day. Thank you so much. This call's a wrap.